Iamar prestarian. Han motho neinen. Han motho netcase. Ahan noston negulef.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode 5 of The One Ring, The Heir of Elendil, where tonight on Garblag Games, the Fellowship try to hunt some orcs and Numenorians. I'll let them introduce themselves, though, starting with Ben.
Hello, I am Ben, and I am playing Sigrun, daughter of Sigrid. Yes, I'm going to get it. By the end of the season, I will know what my character's mum is called.
If you last that one.
And I'm a barding with a really cool bow and the ability to use it properly, it seems. Huzzah! I can do a thing and I'm not hopeless at everything, which is how I started off.
Next up, Dan.
Good evening, I'm Dan, and I am playing Elendil, High Elf of Rivendell, and a captain and warrior.
Yep. Jim.
Hello, I am playing Will Hosborn, and I am playing a champion of Bree, a man of Bree, and a champion. That's me, really.
Yeah. And Pete, how are you doing? Don't worry, we'll edit that out later. Lastly, Roger.
Hi, I'm Roger, and I'm playing Robin Burrows, the Hobbit treasure hunter. And he's got a frying pan, and he knows how to use it to cook.
There you go. And yeah, it's grievous.
But hey, it's cast iron. That thing weighs a lot.
Yeah, you don't want to be zonked by that. But there you go. That's one hell of a fellowship. And last time you managed to both defeat the doom of Rombatar and escape the ruins of Fornost. And now you find yourselves running off into the plains of Rudar in hot pursuit of the Numenorians and an orc company they have with them, who presumably are going to kill the heir of Elendil.
Isn't very sporting.
Yeah.
It's probably only some scrub. No one cares.
No, that line was broken.
It's what I hear anyway.
I'll never be king.
I mean,
I didn't vote for him.
If
This
you
is Simba,
want,
right?
you could just turn around, leave them to it.
Don't listen to Shadow, it's in our minds.
There's a lot of those Mordor points.
There is quite a few.
There are quite a few of those.
It should
Mordor
make it
points.
really easy for us to hunt the orcs, though.
Do the fellowship points renew?
Your fellowship points should renew, at the start of the session.
9, right?
So they renew every session. Yes.
Cool. Just thought I'd check.
You're all looking all right for hope, I think, as I recall.
It was
You've
getting
all
a bit
picked
ropey,
up
though.
some shadow, but
Yeah.
that's not too bad. There's some fatigue going on as well.
I'm quite injured.
A little bit.
14 out of 27. I'm a dwarf, I'm alright.
I mean, if you want, you could stop here and rest a while.
No.
So that Vidar can regain his strength.
No. I'll be fine. Thank you very much. Let's make haste.
In that case, as you set off into the plains, who is going to be guiding you onwards?
I think that'll be me. With my
So I think
explore.
we know how this goes by now. Vidar will make a marching test to see how far you get before some terrible event of great peril overcomes you, and you're all.
But
slain
we've got
outright.
lembas bread.
No, we don't. We've got
It's
potatoes.
soggy,
We haven't got lembas
soggy
bread, have
lembas
we?
bread now.
We've just got sacks and sacks of potatoes and like the
Potatoes.
inexhaustible string of sausages that I suspect that Robin Burrows is making from the corpses of our fallen foes.
You can't beat good sausages.
They wouldn't taste very good, would they?
What about some nice crispy bacon?
Now, I
No,
will
now you're
say,
talking.
because you might want to know this before you start marching, you can, if you want, push yourselves a little bit further each day by doing a forced march, in which case you travel a bit further.
think we might have
However,
to.
you pick up more fatigue every day that you do a forced march.
This sounds like a trap to me.
I'm going to use a point of hope on my explore test and use my dwarven broken spells to invoke a magical success on our first explore roll to follow them.
We like it. Remember,
And
we
this
found
is
a
gonna
I'm
shortcut
going
as
to
well.
pull my
Point
maps
of-
out and all the kind of rubbings and things I've got. In my mind, I remember where I've done each of them. You see, and I mark them on my map, so it's kind of puts it all together and explore, look forward.
Pulls this map out, and you're still unrolling it, and it sort of drops out of your hand and unrolls on a table or on the ground, on the floor, or over a stone or something, and then part of it rolls back up again, and you're just left with the exact piece you need to find a suitable course as you attempt to intercept the band of orcs.
So I don't need to roll for that, do I?
No, you can roll to see if you get extra successes, because then you'll travel even further. But you have got a magical success.
Does that count as one success?
Yeah, that counts as a magical success.
Well, it's worth rolling in case you get some
So
outright.
roll as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you roll as well, and you can't fail now, basically, but you could do even better.
But I don't add a hope die or anything because I've already done that, haven't I? That's the magical success.
Yeah.
So just a straight roll. Here we go.
There you
A
go.
great
You got an
success.
extra success, so you managed to make it hex spell in the deep snow
Aye.
of oncoming winter. Yeah. You can also add a point to the Eye of Mordor for your magical success.
So draw attention.
Is that all of us or just?
No, just it's for the whole party. The magic, magical successes draw the eye.
Bring it on. They've already seen us. Now we hunt them.
They did think we were dead, though. but doesn't matter.
Might slow them down.
At this point,
So-
chasing is what we're doing.
Out
Well, we've already
where you
used
are.
magic, so.
Yeah. Well, you say we.
Well, it's only a ring. You can take it lightly.
So you get to about here, which is a fair old length. And I will say someone amongst you can roll a feat dice, so a single d12.
Go on, Pete. We know you love a D12.
Oh, I do.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
sorry. Roll a d6 first.
Oh, well, Roger, you can do that.
We'll see who the
Seeing as it's
target
only a
is.
D6.
And you're a halfling.
But 3.
So one of the lookouts.
Ooh. Who are the lookouts?
Not me.
Not me. The lookouts
I
are
will have a look.
Will and Isildir.
I was about to say, yes.
One of you two will be the target
dead.
of this event. Yeah, killed outright.
So whoever's got really good awareness.
And then do I roll a d12 for that event?
Yeah, one of you can roll a d12. Then we'll see what the event
My
is.
awareness is
but
only 12 or
pick,
2.
Pick a lookout. Who is going to roll for the event?
Go on, Mr. Alf.
I think I have a lower awareness than you. Perhaps you should.
It's just a random d12 for an event.
Go on, Mr. Alf.
No, now they got to roll awareness. D12 was
Yep,
the random one, and
okay.
then they have to do an awareness,
Oh.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you can roll awareness.
Okay.
So that's
Better than last time, because in fact I water gets into a big hole.
That's a success. So what happens is Vidal's maps prove fairly good, and you make great pace on the first few days. But after a day or so, you're brought down into a narrow ridge line, sort of lower than the plains, and you're moving sideways across, but the terrain is a little bit easier going than the sort of more marshy area next to it and the more rocky area to the side. But at a given point, you come across part of it that's collapsed inwards, and are forced to kind of dig your way out, pull yourselves up out over this crack and move slightly over the rocky terrain before you can move any further. So that loses you some time and picks you up a point of fatigue, 2 points of fatigue each, but you don't lose a day because Isildir, using some particularly elven awareness, manages to spot the problem and the easiest route out of
Where
out
do
of
we
this
mark fatigue?
Next to load.
There should be a little box.
Yeah, if you scroll
Oh, yeah.
down, you'll see resources.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, damn it. It's done it again.
makes my load very close to my endurance.
So, after that, you move up onto the plains, and you're just running across flat-ish, kind of semi-marshy land until it moves up into these sort of low rolling hills, and in the distance you can see higher hills, on which you know there's a few of those old broken towers that used to look out over the Eton Moors and things like that. Yeah, but the day is getting away from you, and everyone is feeling quite tired after pushing on for 3 days with little rest. But you've managed to gain some ground, you think, over this stomping you can hear in the distance. You're pretty sure as well that the orcs probably aren't moving during the day anyway, so if you can catch up to them during the light of day, then they can't get too far away at night, each night. The problem, of course, that you have is we're in the winter months, so the days are shorter and the nights grow longer.
Then we should make camp.
No. One of these
Yeah, it's a good idea, that.
Yeah, you're sort of dead bang in the middle of the plains now, just before it goes into the rolling hills. There's plenty of areas with little bits of woodland still left, or an area of rocks or something that you could put your backs to create a camp and keep the wind out and keep your fire going at night.
I'll see what firewood I can find you, Mr. Burrows. Trundle off trying to see if I'm actually looking for any stones jutting out of the snow that might need a little.
I'll be off looking
Give me
for
an
firewood
awareness
as well.
test and see what you find. Might find wood. You might find little stones.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Just you pick up some loose bits of wood that you find near some of the trees that still looks dry enough. But other than that,
Did you want me to roll to find firewood?
if you want, yeah. There you go. You've got an extra success. So you find the firewood, no problem. But whilst looking for firewood, you spot an odd track sort of into a brushy area that is very much out of place, as it's a clear boot mark pressed into the ground, but it looks like it's going in the wrong direction.
I will go off and try and find Vidar and bring him to have a look.
Catches me like rubbing a rock, and I sort of turn around
Mr.
and
What?
catch up the sticks and be like, I found some wood.
Spend your extra success to cancel a failure, but that's not really relevant. Score an additional success, not really either. Gain insight, go quietly, make haste, or widen influence.
Can I use it to make haste? Perhaps I found a good path leading forwards the next day.
It's more like
You do the activity quickly.
specifically for like either you rush back to Vidar and manage to catch up to him quickly, or it won't so much influence the next day's events.
Okay, I mean, would gaining insight perhaps?
It could help, yeah.
All right, I will gain insight.
You would swear, having seen these things before several times now, more than you'd like, you'd swear it looks like an orcish boot.
But it's going the opposite way
going-
to us.
Not in the direction that you've been chasing these Numenorians across the plains of Rudar. It sort of turned slightly back towards the path where you're coming from.
All right, I will make a note of the compass direction and relay that to the others, and tell them where I found it as well.
What size boot was it?
Oh, it's about this big. I'll say, holding up my hands in an approximation of what it was.
Oh, bollocks. Remember, there's a bunch of different Numenorian groups. I'm going to go and try and catch this fella.
The boot print was over there. If you go down there about 300 yards, and I put a big stick in the ground nearby, so you should see it.
I'm going to go and try and hunt this orc.
Yeah, sure.
Should you go alone into the
anyone-
snow? Shouldn't you take Hoss or the elf with you?
Either of them can keep up. You're more than welcome.
Don't mind
Keeping
going.
up, keeping up is not my problem. Stealth is. Let Hoss go.
Yeah.
I
I'll see one for stealth, I'll tell you now.
think he just wants my chips. I whisper to the dwarf.
I'll put in a chip.
They're not done yet. They're a bit raw.
I'm just bloody hungry.
So,
Yeah,
Who's,
I'll go with. Yeah, I'll go
yeah.
with.
I will make
Okay.
an hunting roll then.
yes, you can.
Wowzers. That's some dice.
You do the little Aragorn bit where you look at the ground, sort of go over the prints, and then you start peering off into the brushes a bit further down, and you see some movement. You see the glint of metal and eyes, and you're pretty sure there are orcs in there.
I might just shoot that one in the face.
Do you shout anything back to the camp?
Yes, I will do.
In which case, none of you are surprised when a bunch of orcs attack you.
Ambush!
Get my little short bow out ready for the first. Oh, hello.
Oh, I think I'd be right in between those two. I'm not stupid.
And I'm checking the pot. Bloody hell. Back to back, Mr.
Yeah.
Burrows. Foul creatures
Oh.
come from all sides.
The rest of you back at the camp, whilst Sigrund has spotted these orcs ahead, together with Hoss, the rest of you back at the camp hear the shouted warning and look around in time to see figures approaching, trying to crawl forwards through the dark and through the thickets around you to try and ambush you. So we'll make that an active encounter.
I'm just going to bellow orcs.
And you can go ahead with opening volleys.
Why is it not
I
letting me
don't know
set
who
my...
wants to.
Yeah, it's not like
Go
we do
first.
stance.
Yeah.
No, you're in opening volleys at the moment.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I see.
Yeah. You get to shoot at everyone because they didn't manage to ambush you.
Right, well, at
And if-
first for an opening volley, sunshine.
And, yeah. I was going to say before you rolled that Sigrun can roll favored.
Okay,
As-
I will.
You
Attempt that again, then.
basically turned the tables on them.
Oh, how do you add favour?
When you click
you just
your
add a
bow
dice,
attack,
don't you?
you should be able to select
Oh, feat
ill-favored,
dice?
favored.
Favoured,
Yeah, it's on your
yes.
feet dice. Yeah.
Right, there we go. Sorry. Let's do that again.
So the orcs now aware that they've been spotted come rushing, surging forwards. And they still eat. Yeah.
Wow.
Which one did you shoot? This one?
Middle
Oh.
one.
Yeah. Gets hit straight in the shoulder by an arrow, and it potentially goes right through the old armor, Did you have anything special for that with your special bow and just being a barding? Or is that only for giant things?
No, it's my special bow does many special things. It is fell and grievous, and as an barding, I have a fierce shot, piercing blow on a ranged attack. The protection of the target is ill-favored.
That's what I thought. Oh no. Yeah, the first one just
Thunk.
goes straight down as the arrow pierces straight through the armor. It comes running forwards towards you. Who wants to take a shot next?
I've just got my axe.
I have a bow. I'll take a shot.
I'm going to re-roll that because I just saw what it rolled.
It's all right. Well, you're on 11 now, right?
Oh. So annoying, one shot.
Yeah, the arrow just skips past them as they sort of start lurching about. Fildir,
I am not very good with a bow.
Ha! Neither am I. I'm too busy trying to get my axe out of my belt loop.
Too busy trying to steal chips, more like.
Shh.
You may not be surprised, but you're all kind of rushed through the process of trying to shoot at a bunch of orcs running straight for you.
I think I let go of the string and the arrow didn't go anywhere, and I just go, oh bloody, oh, I throw it on the floor and pull the axe out.
Yeah. Jim, do you want to do an opening volley or?
I can't do an opening volley. I ain't got nothing to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abusive words.
Just shout at them. Some of the orcs can do one though.
Oh.
They do have bows.
Ha. Trying to shoot Elendil is like trying to shoot water.
Yeah, so an arrow skips past, hits the campfire.
Yes, free firewood.
And another one aimed at Vidar goes past your ear as you sort of reach down to pick up your axe. Then we'll begin combat and you can pick your stances.
Oh.
Yeah, you're just outnumbered. So technically I get to engage you with the orcs first. Put everyone next to each other and then... But you can pick your stances first.
Forward.
Needless to say, I shall go rearward.
Yeah, can they still move into melee if we're in rearward?
Not normally, though a fair amount of them have oh no, wait, they don't. None of these not do. Darn. Some of them have a jumping ability so that they can reach you. Because of the amount of them in combat, let's just
right click on your token, Jim, and you, on the left hand side the stances will appear. You got that?
Okay, no worries, mate. I am daft.
No. There's a knack to
Foundry.
Foundry. Once you got it, it's awesome.
Precisely. Right, so rearward stance. You're allowed to Assume rearward stance only if the total number of enemies isn't more than twice the number of adventurers in the company. Furthermore, for each player hero in rearward stance, there must be 2 others fighting in close combat stance. So in this case, only one of the 2 of
I've
you.
got a special rule that means I can.
Ooh.
I have what's it
There you go.
called? It's one of my racial things.
No.
Little
Small
Diddy Man.
folk. Yeah, I've got small folk, which means I can assume rearward stance in combat, even if there's only one other company member fighting in close combat.
So does that mean I can't do rearward?
No, you can, because you need
Okay.
2 people to be in close combat, and I only need
All
one.
right.
Yeah,
and there's
but-
3 of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll say that's 2 there. 1 filled there. These 2 are going to go for Vidar, and this one's going to stay in rearward as well.
I was kind of about to run at them, but it's great that they both come to me, so I can whack their heads
You
off.
meet each other. Where
Yeah.
there you go. We'll put you there. So has everyone picked their stances then?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of forward stances going on. Ballsy, I like it. If Fildir, or well, any of you can go first, but
Let's face it, it's a Thildir.
Yeah.
Okay.
go on.
Yes, I'll go
Fildir.
first then.
This orc soldier comes rushing at you with shield and a scimitar raised to bash your skull in, basically.
Right, scroll down to my sword, which has gone walkabouts. There it is.
That is a magical sword. One that could walk about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Gandalf is with you. That,
And I'm
that
gonna
hits. Were you
submit.
targeting
a-
the... Yeah, oh, right, yeah.
I'm going to do a heavy blow.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. How did that go?
11 damage. 11 damage in
Wow.
one hit. Wow, that's painful.
That's cool.
And it also, do you have any feats that would make the protection roll ill-favored or anything like that?
No, not that I can think of.
It didn't matter because
It was TN 18, so that's pretty high anyway.
yeah, you
Bosh.
up straight
Cleave his head off his shoulders in one fell swoop with my elegant elven blade.
rolls off into the distance before the orc even manages to get to you, and the body just sort of slumps to the floor. Yeah, and you almost killed him outright. So with the 11 damage, you were 1 shy, just straight up. Wow. Okay, Vidar. Looks like you're up next.
And in my mind, I'm going to hit the goblin so hard that it's going to go into the next guy. I know it doesn't work like that, but that's what's going on in Vidar's head. Where are we?
you've been watching that bomber fight again, haven't you?
Is there a barrel I can roll down? Right. Oh, I'm going to use my reroll on that. I rolled a 1 on the feet die. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, I personally prefer an Eye of Sauron. But
2 is much better. Twice as good as 1.
it's the 2 of them coming in around you, these arrows whistling past your head. The goblin archers are a little bit more nimble than you expected.
I'm overexcited.
Swinging with the axe, and they spring back and lurch in with jagged knives, but you don't manage to hit one of them.
Oh dear.
How's Hoss feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel heartful. I'm feeling positive. Yeah, these orcs are going to get some.
Go for it.
Excellent.
There's two of them on you as Sigrun kind of draws back a little bit behind you to
It's
pull
understandable.
her bow, and so they just
They won't
kind
be
of
two for long,
converge
though.
towards you.
Okay. Select one and only one token to attack. No.
So right click on the orc and then select the little
Sorry.
archery target.
Yeah, Aaron Upchurch.
not letting me
70,000
right-click on it.
Garblag Groats and Dace turns up. I don't know.
It's not letting me. Oh, 1 second. Right click on it. No, let's try it. No. It's not giving me any option when I right click on it.
Select the little archery-looking target thing on the left-hand side, and then
Right,
just left-click on
And then
one of
just
them.
left click on one of the two.
All right. Okay. Sorry about this.
Don't worry.
And on your character sheet, if you click your weapon, it should
Yeah, the
Yeah.
weapon, not the
against
skill.
that one.
Do I need to change anything? No.
No, it'll
No,
do it.
your extra dice for forward stance should be added automatically.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
So the grievous axe comes swinging in and cuts into the side of this this orc, and we'll see if I do any better on the protection roll. And it just sort of dents the armor in, cutting into its flesh under the armor, but not breaking through and killing him outright. But he's looking pretty badly injured, I will say.
Now clear off home.
Don't think they're gonna do that. Sigrun. Sigrun's calculating how many dice.
oh.
Which one are you shooting? Do you even need the protection roll? So this one's ill-favored, right?
Yeah, that's the one in between the two of us.
Yeah. So this one.
Oh, look, he got
here.
He got
Just-
two Gandalfs.
Yeah, that's not good. For
That's not good
Not
for
good
them.
for them.
And the arrow just goes straight through. Falls to the floor, ripping it in his throat. And the other one next to Hoss kind of looks around a bit. Oh no, this is not going so well.
It's not the
Robin
greatest
Burrows.
plan they've ever come up with.
They were hoping to ambush you whilst you slept.
Well, I'm here. Can
You
I move?
fling a potato, but it just bounces off.
Can I move a bit?
I think you did also just get a re-roll from Aaron.
I
So
did,
if you
but
want to use
I
it.
am not good at hitting these things at the best of times, so I might save it for something a little bit more urgent.
Okay.
Can I move?
You don't really need to move. It's
I was
not.
going to hide
there's
behind
no,
the
like-
fire.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
They can either get at you or they can't. It's
Yeah, you're actually safer where you are between the other two than you would be behind the fire, where at least one of the goblins would be able to shoot you.
So the first goblin archer on Vidar leaps back as this axe goes swinging wildly, but not very accurately
Stay still, you pesky gobbo.
for his head. And I think
It's gonna fillet me.
I'm gonna spend a point of hate.
Oh, that's not good.
And attack you with his jagged knife And if it hits,
Haha.
and wounds you, but it does not, it would have been poisoned.
No.
Yeah, he just swings in, but you're keeping them at bay with these big, wide strokes of this big axe that is practically Vidar size.
You don't want to enter my death zone.
Yeah, they're trying to work their way in, but not quite succeeding at the moment. The other one comes in as well, and a stab out at you. Ah!
Oh, 3 ones. Oh.
I am not doing well with these lot, am I?
Well, you've got a
They're
reroll
the
as well.
worst orcs.
Aaron did give you a reroll too.
Yeah.
It's a bit early
I'll
for a
save
reroll,
it
though,
for
right?
Save it for more important evil deeds. The orc that Hoss just hit kind of grunts. This of orc blood running down his side where the axe struck it, and full on attacks Hoss. For a whopping 6 damage. So 6 endurance as the scimitar strikes at you, pushing
6
you back
endurance.
slightly.
Do I put my armor on that, or
No, you just take the 6 endurance.
okay?
Endurance basically it goes up and down, like it goes down in combat, or if you do something that makes you tired, or if you fall, or if you get injured in any way. And it can also, it goes up again then while you're traveling and resting and stuff. And then it's only
Armor's
really
for wounds, really, isn't it? Yeah.
wounds that will kill you outright.
Or poison, I assume.
Poison makes you act like you're wounded.
Why is load
Oh.
all of a sudden circled?
Because if they match, if your load
you're
exceeds
in-
your endurance, then
Yeah.
you're weary.
So your load has met your endurance now, or gone
Because you're
over
tooled
it.
up.
Yeah, and now you're carrying too much gear, but you're also really tired and a bit battered.
Oh,
And what that
I
means,
want me mum. Say again.
What that means is if you're weary, on your D6s, 1s, 2s, and 3s count as nothing.
It's harsh, man.
Yeah. As you're slowly drained of your ability to fight on, and you need to have a little sit down. The last goblin archer is gonna have a little shot at Elendil. See if I can hit him this time. And I still miss. God, a lot of you, you're just too damn.
You got a lot of dice there as well.
Why won't you let evil win?
Evil shall never triumph.
Yeah. No,
I mean, the goblin's a bit of an idiot, shooting at their heaviest clank.
yeah, I know.
With the biggest shield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah, but he
danciest
looks-
elf.
He does look a lot scarier than the 3-foot tall
The little
hobbit, though.
Hobbit. But the problem is the Hobbit's parry rating is like 5 trillion as well. So it's not like
It's
the
only
frying pan.
20.
Pung, pung, pung.
Oh, it's only 20. I think Dan's is 21, so Elendil's just like
22.
22.
So yeah. Back round to you lot. Do you want to change any of your stances?
Yes.
I don't think I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
So
yeah,
you
I am.
can put yourselves next to whoever you want to put yourselves next to.
Well, before I
if you're
move,
not already
I
fighting
will
someone.
ask of the deer, Vidir, do you require any assistance?
You fetched up the others. Let me deal with these. Mr. Burrows. A distraction, please.
You probably haven't even noticed me kind of sneaking behind them.
Okay, Thildir, you're up first then. You can put yourself next to that goblin archer if that's who you want to hit, or
I'm trying, it won't let me drag it.
You might not be on the move.
Use your arrow keys.
You've got to be on the select option.
there you go. I'll put you next.
Yeah, the little. Oh, anyway. Right, here we go.
Poison stab. I get one of you.
Well, not so good.
Difficulty
I will use my-
37.
What?
What?
Who are you trying to hit? You rolled a 23. Who are you targeting?
Target yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I took. Should I try again? Let me do it again.
Missed.
I was
Good
going to
news
say,
is you
what kind
failed
of
to
It's got to
hit
be a
yourself.
great success. Yeah, how did you fail to hit yourself with
I was
23?
a 23 would definitely have hit the poor
Yeah.
little goblin archer.
Apparently, he needed a 37 to hit.
Whoa, whoa.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I'll do it as a piercing blow.
Oh, yeah, we like a piercing blow.
Oh. This bloody elf.
Goblin archer, your elven blade just goes straight through the
Oh,
goblin.
it's a tie at the minute.
Still
Then.
holding his bow, and he just looks at you and falls backwards. Vidar.
Stand still and let me hit you.
Which one though?
The southerly one. I'm tempted to use a point of hope. Yep. I'm proud. Can I use that? I don't want to be showing up in front of the elf.
Go on then. I'll let you. Yeah, the elf, the Ifildir is definitely ahead, and so is Sigrun.
Well, yeah, I'm not
You're trailing well behind.
Sigrun's good, and that's fine.
As I tell my children, it is not a race.
But hey, thanks for giving me a reason to be both proud and willful when I take my next shot, because I'm just fine.
There you go.
It's this one, right?
Hit the goblin archer there for 6.
Axe smacks him, and he sort of lurches back, gets cut across. He's still kind of standing, shrieking and waving the jagged knife at you, but looking very badly injured. Robin Burrows.
Can I spend a point of hope using rustic because my ways are considered uncouth? I'm pretty sure sneaking up behind someone and using a frying pan's not considered very normal.
I don't know, for an orc that would be like, yeah, it's all in a day's work. But go on, I'll let you, because I'm nice. This is why evil keeps failing. I'm too nice.
Yep.
Not evil enough.
Perhaps I'm luring you into a trap. Yeah, that'll hit.
Bong.
And a whopping 8 damage. Just Robin Burrows, sort of this goblin archer's trying to stay out of the way of Vidar's swings, and
And then I jump on his back and bong.
lurches back with the knife, and Robin Burrows just wong over the head, falls flat on his face.
Did I get one?
Yes, you did.
Oh, that
You
seals it. Then
outdid one wog.
we can't let Pete have that last one.
That's all right. Just get me to act before him next time. I'll see if I can get there.
Well, if Hoss can
He could
finish
be
off
saved.
this guy.
He could be
Go on,
saved by
Hoss.
the Hobbit. I guess it's Sigrun now.
It's Hoss first.
Oh,
Before
sorry.
Sigrun.
I'm defensive, so
Yep, you're still before me.
You're still before Rearwood.
okay. It's because I've gone all weary.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's gonna sting.
I'm weary, but you know, I'm still gonna kill you.
Get back
It wasn't
on
so
me.
much weary as you just had enough of their crap.
Oh, I got a special success there, but it
Yeah.
disappeared.
Did it? Let's have a look. You had an 8. How much damage are you doing with your grievous axe? Let's have a look. Grievous felt axe, 6 damage. Yeah. Basically, you don't need to do a piercing blow. If you just pump the damage, that would have been more than enough. So you could spend the 2 extra successes for that. And the axe goes cutting in, slices into the collarbone of the orc and
Thanks.
crumples to the floor beneath your powerful onslaught. And then it's Sigrun.
Seeing that my good friend
Vidar
Onewog appears to be in trouble from that goblin, not having that. That's not on. No. Leave my friend alone. He's ill
I mean, the
favoured.
5 damage alone would have been enough. But yeah, the goblin archer goes down as Vidar's winding up for another swing, and an arrow just goes.
I set you up for that one. Well, we couldn't have the elf beating you now, could we, my lady?
I don't know what you mean. Who was keeping count?
Well, I got one.
So
Well done,
Yeah.
Mr.
Good job,
Burrows.
Mr. Burrows.
It'll say climbing off the back of the goblin that you just jumped on.
but I believe the score is Sigrun 3, Fildir 2, Robin Burrows, and Will Hoss 1. And Vidar was there.
But who's really counting, if we're
I would like to
honest?
point out,
That's
Vidar
really mean.
Vidar is the wizard of the group and
This
goes
is
into
all
hand-to-hand
about-
combat all the time.
Teamwork, and collectively we've been completely successful, and I think that's what really counts here.
It's a group effort, team effort.
Ah,
And as they
Don't
all
worry,
say
we'll make
that,
something.
they turn around and I'm already asleep, snoring on the floor.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it'd be off
And
rubbing
the
something.
shadow whispers in your ears, Vidar's not pulling his weight.
Can I search the goblins in case any of them are carrying anything that could give us
Yes.
any clues?
Yep. I will say you don't really, you've got enough time to search them at your leisure, and you find kind of a scrawled note written in black speech, which presumably none of you can read.
Well, I won't even recognise it. So I'll go. Looks like Elvish to me.
You recognise it as looking kind of painful and.
Now, anyone read this?
I don't think I can
Can I
read
roll
it
lore?
necessarily. I do have shadow lore. Does that help at all? Because I also have lore and I have shadow lore to go with it.
Yeah. Is your shadow lore on?
Yeah, it's a distinctive feature.
What, on your face or something?
Just says shadow across his face.
It's the warden's special ability.
It's a really big wart.
Quality shared by the wise of the land.
Yeah, there you go. Vidar, you sort of get the gist of it.
I didn't.
Sigrid, you look at it and go, that's definitely black speech.
That's black speech, that is.
Aye.
And Vidar starts going over it with books and tomes out and like
While he's
wakes
doing
up
that, I'm back to
immediately at the
cooking.
sound. Like, oh, there's something to read. It starts getting books and things out, and you manage to decipher that it is an order that has been sent to them from an orc captain of some kind, claiming that the Numenorians want them to ambush the party following them along the road. So they were specifically set up here to
This was no
ambush
chance
and murder
encounter,
you.
my friends.
Well,
Or
that's
slow
good. It
you
means that
down,
we've
at
helped them
least.
do their job.
And it means they're scared of us.
Also seems to suggest they underestimate us somewhat if they thought that 3 goblins and 3 orcs would be enough to deal with us.
What you mean?
Aye.
I would imagine they'll redouble their efforts after this, but only if they know we're still alive.
Yes, I
We
agree.
could dress in their
No.
clothing
No,
and pursue
can't.
onward.
I
not
think it might
happening.
be a bit big for me.
Not the goblin stuff.
Oh, even they're a bit bigger than I am.
It'll be a bit close round the chest for me.
I imagine I'd have the same problem, to be honest.
I don't think I've seen many orcs with a great big bushy beard like yours.
I haven't got a beard. What you talking about?
I was talking to the dwarf. You silly horse.
Are those chips done yet?
No, we were rudely interrupted, if you remember.
Oh, don't tell me the chips are burned. If that's what they've achieved in
No,
this
they didn't
room.
even hit the pan. Look.
Well, that one up there did. Hit it with the back of his head.
But I wasn't using this pan to make the chips. It's a bit shallow, you see.
No.
The map? No.
Not even on the
map.
producer view.
Yeah, I'll just quickly reload Foundry because I think it's.
Playing silly buggers. Oof.
There we go.
Can I cook an extra hearty meal to try and embolden people?
Oh, you can.
Or
Yeah.
make, give them a bit more energy.
Yes. Yeah. Just.
Everyone will be getting a bit of extra food.
You're right there, Master Hosburn. Do you need someone to take a look at that?
Yeah, well, yeah. Can we go on?
Not just yet. I think first we might have to stop the invading army of orcs and goblins and the Black Numenorians leading them, prevent them slaying the heir of Elendil, and report back to our good friend Lord Elrond. But after that, yes, we can have a nice rest.
What's that? That all sounds like a lot of work. Don't you just really want to go home?
There you are. Great success on my cooking.
Nothing I can really do about that injury, I'm afraid. I'd say this needs elvish medicine, but
Yeah, I was just looking up the resting bit, but for some reason I can't find it. No, it's there. I've read it.
might just hand him 2 chips and say, take 2 of these and see me in the morning.
I have some skill in healing, if that would help.
Greatly, I imagine. They say there's nothing quite like elvish healing.
Perhaps not with these hands, my lady. These are the hands of a warrior, not a healer.
Resting. So, under most circumstances, a day of adventuring allows for a maximum of 1 short rest, at which point you recover a number of lost endurance equal to your strength, or a prolonged rest, which is basically if you were to go to sleep all night now, after eating this hearty meal, then you recover all your lost endurance points and a number of endurance points equal to your strength if you're wounded. But none of you are wounded, so you can all push your endurance back up.
Huzzah.
And everyone can have a point of hope for Robin Burrows' hearty meal.
Oh, Mr. Burrows, these sausages are divine.
Do we get to get rid of any fatigue from sleeping as well, or is that?
No, that's
in your
travel
heart.
weariness. That just it's grinding you down. You're all starting to look like Aragorn. He wasn't really 80; he was 25. And the next day, dawn breaks again. It's a crisp, clear winter morning, and you're ready to set off in pursuit once more.
Should we roll those goblins into the ditch?
Probably a plan.
I'm guessing we probably would have done that last night. Rolled them
I
into a
imagine you
ditch and-
didn't just sleep with a bunch of goblin and orc corpses around you. Like,
Could have made
This
a
is
little wall out
cozy.
of them.
rolled them into a ditch and then thrown some stuff and some snow over them.
There you go. Once again, you set off on your travels in pursuit of the Numenorians. Idar, you're leading the way with your maps.
Here we go. I'm feeling,
Are you
I'm feeling a bit better
gonna
this
spend
morning.
hope again for another magical success?
No, I think I'm just going to roll.
He just wants more Eye of Sauron points, doesn't he?
I do.
Hey!
Ooh.
Who needs magical when you're extraordinary?
Yeah. So yeah, you managed to make great time. Ending up well into the hills of Rudauer, and you're climbing up these rolling hills where the ruined towers sit upon, just before you get to the river.
Getting panoramic shots from the helicopter at this point.
It's the Hallwell, isn't it? I think the river that you're approaching, but there you go. And yeah, you're sort of running for days and days on end, sleeping only little at night and making sure you make good pace and watching for further orc ambushes. So someone's gonna have to give me a d6 roll, and someone else can roll a d12, a feat dice. We'll find out who gets to take on an event and what the event will be.
I'll roll the d6.
Go for it.
There's a D12 to go with it.
A 4 once again falls upon the lookouts. Which lookout wants to take it on this time?
I'll take it on again.
I was about to say I did the last one, so
Yeah. And yeah, a 2. Ooh. That's a nice one. So give me an awareness roll. Jim,
No.
or
Awareness.
Hoss, as you all navigate the path set out by Vidar, and you feel like you're approaching, or at least getting close to the Numenorians.
I'm going to point and say, it's a straight line.
You have got rerolls, Jim.
Yeah, use a reroll.
I'm going to re-roll that because that's
You
the
don't
kind
want
of...
to re-roll that. You don't need
Yeah, you
to
do.
re-roll that. Don't worry about it. It's nothing bad whatsoever.
Oh, great success.
Right. So yeah, you do gain 2 fatigue points each.
2.
And yep, 2 fatigue points each. As you're running up the hill, you kind of break
Let's deal
through
with God.
some might listen. Break through some undergrowth, pull aside some brushes, and almost head bang on straight into this broken open burrows. And you can see something in there, and you see the glint of something looking back at you, and you're almost all overcome by despair, assuming that you're going to be attacked again by one of those horrible white light creatures. And it turns out just to be a corpse, long dead, resting still, and looted, long looted of all treasures, save for these 2 gleaming coins on the skulls and the eyes of the skull. So you avoided some shadow points there and some despair.
Can you use the extra success for something?
You could.
Heck, have you seen how many re-rolls we've all got?
Yeah. Just Aaron throwing out rerolls.
And
I'm gonna start using my rerolls to make you reroll. You could potentially spend your extra successes. Well, it was an extraordinary, great success. So you have 1 extra success. You could spend it on insight, gain insight.
Do we not use it to go faster?
It's not really in the.
It's
This is
about
the
this.
event that happens.
Right, so it's in the
whilst
encounter,
you're
not
traveling.
on
Yeah,
the travel.
yeah.
Right. So we could have used one of Pete's extra successes to go faster if he got them.
You did.
Well, we did. We
we
moved
did.
a load
They
of hexes.
automatically count as an extra hex each.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why we've done it in 2 steps. It's like,
And we are definitely catching up with them.
Yeah. You can gain insight, go quietly, make haste, or widen influence with your extra success. Or you could just keep it
yeah.
and
think
back
so.
away from the clearly not cursed gold.
Wink.
I don't know. Jim's probably going to nick it, aren't you, Jim?
What's that, mate?
The gold coins and the corpse's eyes.
Well, if it's cursed, he probably will.
No, I'll just hang about at the back door. So, you know.
Is it clear what kind of... Is it a human remains? Are the ear bones pointy?
Yeah, it looks like no, it's a human. Whether they were from Rudar, Arn, or Arthur Dane.
Arthur Dane.
You can't even tell really now because they've been stripped of everything. And
I'm not going to touch them, but could I look at the coins and
You can.
maybe see if I recognise them with a lore roll?
Yeah, sure.
And I don't think they're cursed. I think they're here as some kind of like burial. It's a barrow, right? It's like some sort of burial thing. So I don't want to touch it because of, burial rites and things like that. But I'm curious.
It does. They're not immediately coins you recognize.
Okay.
But they look similar to the kind of coins that men make. So you're assuming it is from
Clumsy.
one of the kingdoms. They look pretty old, though.
Okay. Oh,
Maybe
I may
not
do a little
Arnor
sketch.
old.
May do a
So
little
it could
sketch
be
of them.
either Arthedain or Rudauer, or at some point in between.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from then on. Yeah. And you have successfully crossed into Darklands now.
Whoa.
You're currently standing on a fantastic tally of 11 eye. As you crest the hill, stand upon the ruins and look out, you can see just over the river, just beyond the woods, over the river, you can see these 3 riders driving the orcs onwards, and they appear to be making for the mountains. They're here-ish now, and they appear to be heading in that direction.
Oh.
Yeah. But as you're watching them run, this thick mist rolls in and twists itself around you. As we go into a revelation phase.
Ooh.
So you can reset the Eye of Sauron, well, the Eye of Mordor to 0.
Oh dear.
I think it starts at 3, in fact. And suddenly, where you're kind of spread apart a little bit, as you know, no one stands like shoulder to shoulder in this wide open space as you round these ruins. Now, with this mist curling its way around you and spreading over the hillside, you can't even see the people you were standing next to a moment ago. Vidar and Ithildir. Even Ithildir, even you can't see through this mist, making you suspicious as to its origins. Robin Burrows, everyone's just disappeared out of view.
Hello?
And you call out and get echoes back.
Oh, it's like bloody Fornost.
Can I hear them?
You can't really hear anything at the moment. If you shout out, you hear yourself echoed back from the mists. And the whole place is sort of swamped in this dark,
Show yourself.
night-like glamour. And when you shout, show yourself, you hear something laughing out of the mist in front of you, Vidar.
I swing my axe.
You swing your axe, and just as you're swinging it in front of you, you get the impression of the shadow running across to your side.
Stand and fight me.
What are the rest doing as Vidar's spinning around with that axe?
I should go and stand next to him.
I'll hit something this time. You
What's
can't. You
Oh,
can't see Vidar. You
Oh,
can't
sorry.
find Vidar. You can't
I'm
hear
gonna
Vidar.
sing a jaunty tune.
Ooh.
If the thing's trying to mess with me, I'm gonna annoy it by being all chirpy.
Go on then, Rog.
If I sing, every one of you will go.
The shadow will win.
Yeah. Then I'll immediately reset the Eye of Mordor.
But
No,
I'm going to take all the little pieces of that magic lamp out of my pouch and hold them in one hand while I string an arrow. Not trying to put it back together. I know that's not going to happen. But that was the last repository of hope that we were carrying around with us. So just holding the bits whilst stringing an arrow.
Yeah, you can give me a craft test, and Robin, you can give me a song test. I take it you're trying to sort of bind them to the arrow, and with the
No, I
intention
was kind of just holding
Oh.
them in that hand
right.
whilst
Yeah.
getting ready to.
Okay.
Oh, so close.
As
I'm gonna
you're
use one- I'm
singing,
going to use one of my rerolls.
yeah,
Um,
as you're
can I s-
singing, this
Can I use a
voice
reroll?
sings back at you, eerily off pitch, and you see the shadows moving around and swirling around as the whole place gets darker.
Can I
You
use a
can
reroll?
use your reroll. Yep.
A
Alright,
cappella
Can I spend a
duet.
point of hope?
You can spend a point of
And
hope.
can I use rustic? Because no one's expecting someone to sing at the mist.
The Hobbit
Not
Inquisition.
even that. It's just, you know,
You
the
sing a
whole idea of
villager song or
rustic hobbits
Rustic,
sing
you say?
songs to keep their heart up. So yeah, sure.
Like a farmer might use, like a trade farmer.
Whoa.
You keep singing as these shadows seem to be darting in and out, and after a while the voice disappears a little bit, and you find yourself in the complete stillness in this darkness. Still oppressive, but you're not.
But I'm
Fear
keeping my
hasn't
hopes
quite
up.
settled into you yet.
May I
was-
attempt to enhearten myself by reminding myself why we're here and what we're doing and the importance of the job that we're about?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want it to be horribly flangey. That's why I ask if it's appropriate.
Sorry, what? I was
It is
briefly
appropriate to
distracted
do
by
so,
a baby.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you can try and embolden yourself in heart. There's clearly something going on here. And you're starting to hear almost like the stomp of orcs running around you and
And
shouting.
I'm going to spend a point of hope as well.
Yep.
Ooh.
Very nice.
It's an important one, I feel.
Yeah.
The darkness pushes in further, but it doesn't overwhelm you. And the stomp of boots and the shout of these orcs almost seems further and more distant. Isildir and Boss, what are you up to?
Well, I would have drawn my blade,
Yeah, I've got the axe out.
and I will be worried myself.
Yeah. As-
Almost a little bit flashbacky, like, you know, this is how it happened last time kind of thing.
As your blade comes out, like almost the shadow comes striking past you, but it disappears off into this swirling dark mist, and you can hear the stomp of boots as well, and hear the shouting. Will What's Will Hoss doing? Also, you just pulling out your axe, or
Yeah, I'm just having a look round. Bit of a
yeah. As you walk through the mist, it almost seems like you have to push your way through it, like it's a dense cloud around you, and You're walking through with your axe held up and shadows darting across. You hear the shout of the goblin archers. You hear something laughing in the middle of the mist. Yeah, but for the moment you can't find anyone. Robin, after things have gone quiet for a second or two, you're hearing a lot of shouting around you. It's almost like Vidar is cursing at something and fighting with something. You can hear Sigrund somewhere amongst the mists, and footsteps coming closer.
I will walk towards where I'm hearing Vidar's voice coming from, but I'm still continuing to sing.
Yeah. Okay.
If the jaunty tune didn't annoy them, it's now going to be a raunchy tune.
Yeah. Go for another song roll.
It seems we've got 2 hobbits on the show right now.
One's a little bit of an ill hobbit, though.
Oh, word. All right, I'm going to use my last re-roll, and I'm going to spend a hope again.
Yeah. Good.
Success.
Okay, yeah. You start singing, and you can almost see a shadowy figure in the distance swinging an axe around. And whatever they're swinging the axe towards, you can't see, but the axe is going around in all directions, and you can hear Vidar shouting as you sing.
Yeah, I will move quickly towards where Vidar is, singing my raunchy tune.
Vidar, Sigrund, Thildir, Will, what are you doing? At this point, these shadows are moving in around you, and they keep attacking from one side, and you keep swinging towards it and finding nothing, and it keeps, every time you look at it, there's an enemy nearby, but you can't find them.
I think I will be
you can
actively...
all, if you want, roll on dread.
On dread?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Probably wisdom.
Yeah. Is it wisdom or valor?
Wisdom, isn't it? Because it's mental.
Miles.
Reroll.
To join us.
Reroll.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, I think I'm going to reroll too. I might even throw a point of hope.
Sorry, what do you click for dread again?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Dread is valor.
Just wisdom on its own.
Oh, was it
I just
valor?
looked it up. Yep.
Oh god.
Oh, that would have been an
Valor.
extra dice.
Right. I have to reroll that then. Tharkoon!
I'm going to use my reroll.
I'm going to use
Okay.
my reroll.
Do I have to roll one as well, Lewis?
No. Robin, for the moment.
Hey,
you're
there we go.
fighting against-
Extraordinary success.
Oh, did I have to roll it? Even though I got my my great
you
success
did,
earlier.
but you can roll favoured. Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
I
Well, I
was
got
somewhat distracted.
fair.
Sorry.
Perfectly fair. I got a great
Well, it's
success on my roll,
reroll.
so
Yeah.
it's all good. Another great
Okay.
success up there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, quite. I understand where he's coming from.
Anyone with a success, you're still you feel surrounded, but you're not overwhelmed by it. Anyone who failed, which I think is no one.
I think we all rerolled.
Did anyone fail? No. Okay then.
I've used all of my rerolls now.
Me too.
Yeah. Then you're just you're still surrounded by these attacking shadows, and you still can't find each other. Except for Vidar, you're swinging your axe when suddenly a hobbit pops up by your side, singing a song
hobbit.
out of the mist.
Mr. Burrows. Watch
Straight
yourself.
out of the ground.
Yeah. Foul shadows strike at me from the mist, and I swing at them. I think this is futile. I think I need to join you in song.
That's right, join me. The buggers don't seem to like a good jaunty tune.
Wow.
And I start singing again.
Yeah. Okay. Vidar, if you're going to join in, you'll have to put your axe down as these shadows keep lurching about you.
I will put my axe down.
And roll for song as well.
And can I still hear other people? Because I heard a couple of people, didn't I?
Find out when Vidar...
I'm going to use a point of hope to use my broken spells, because song is one of my magical skills. So I'm going to do that for magical success, and then I'm going to roll, see what else I get. Oh, bless. Not much else. But I got a success with my magical success.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Your song kind of... The words coming from your mouth almost pierce the mist as you start joining in Robin Burrows' song. You can add a point of Eye of Mordor for that. As it's quite clearly a magical success. As your words push aside.
Hey, we're surrounded by stuff at the moment, so
push aside the mist, and you can see a figure in the distance as well.
All right, we'll move shoulder to shoulder so we kind of don't split up in the mist.
Yeah, put my arm round Mr. Burrows, and we'll sing together.
We'll link arms and skip
like some hooligans on the way back from a win.
Do either of you have yellow boots on?
More like ruby slippers.
Click the heels together.
We'll go towards the figure in the mist.
Skip towards the figure in the mist.
That'll
annoy the darkness.
Everyone else, you're still being attacked by the mist, and it seems to be coming in closer and closer now. Is there anything any of you want to do before?
Yes, please.
I will make you roll shadow again.
I will put my sword away and pull out my musical instrument.
Oh!
I don't know what it is yet.
It's a guitar.
Basing this on, though.
I have got one in my inventory. I just never figured out what it was. I think it's probably some sort of
bagpipes.
Fleet.
A 7-foot-tall harp.
A grand piano.
It's 2 spoons.
Pipe organ.
It says in my equipment a exotic musical instrument.
Oh,
Comb and a bit of fag paper then.
I am gonna say though, Elendil, at the moment, because you're being surrounded by these attacks, and as far as your senses are telling you, there's something in the mist and it's toying with you and it's trying to kill you.
So probably
roll Valor first.
I will try Valor. Okay, yeah.
To drop your sword in the middle of this battle.
Well,
I like the hurdy-gurdy.
Get your hurdy-gurdy out.
No, in fact, definitely not. So I will use my second reroll. Oh God!
That's even worse.
How many? Was it just the two?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In which case, I guess I'm going to be keeping my sword close to me.
you can do it, but then you're going to be ill-favored for your lute playing role.
I think I will not drop my sword then, because clearly the threat of this darkness and the hitherto unknown enemy in the shadows is probably preventing me from scabbarding my blade.
Yeah. You pick up 1 point of shadow for your fellow attack.
A point of shadow.
Can I use insight to try and work out what's actually happening here? Because this clearly isn't natural. This isn't a normal thing.
Yeah, sure.
And I am going to use my shadow law to find out what's going on.
You can't quite work out what this is, but you're sure this is some kind of sorcery being wielded against you. Whether it's a trick laid across your mind or this shadow has been placed here, and there's something in it attacking you, that you don't know.
Okay, but
there is sorcery.
This isn't something that I can. This isn't something you can fight with blade. This is something that's attacking the mind. Can I try and find the source of whatever is doing it?
You can roll Valor first.
I can.
If you can pull yourself free from this spectral battle that you seem to be fighting.
Am I still favored in this?
Well, with the insight, yes.
Splendid. Oh, good Lord. I'm going to use my last reroll on that.
You managed to pull your feet free from the ground and plunge headlong into this darkness, and following the sound of this laughter that is skittering around on the wind, and as you're doing that, from off to the side of you, you hear the sound of Vidar and Robin singing. Will, how's Will Hoss doing?
Yeah, I'm listening to the music and trying to let it cheer me up, although it's not exactly having the right sort of I don't know what the word is. Yeah, I'm just trying to sort of find positives in the
yeah. You could try to enhearten yourself. Or you could try and find this distant music that you're picking up on now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and find this music.
Okay. Can you give me a scan roll?
Of course I can.
And a valor test first.
A scan roll, you say?
Yeah. As you still feel like you're being surrounded by hundreds of orcs. You gonna use any re-rolls for that?
I haven't got none left.
Give the old valor a go as well. So you're trying to move towards this sound, but you can feel there's too many of these orcs around you, and you don't dare set a foot for fear of stumbling into one of them in the dark. And you pick up a point of shadow.
Where do I do that?
So add one shadow point, temporary shadow point next to your hope there. And then fortunately for you, Will, Vidar and Robin come singing through the mist.
Skipping. Literally linked arms skipping through the mist.
Yep.
You can join in their song now. Add an extra voice to it.
La la la.
I will join their song.
Yeah. So,
Got a link arms
you
and
have
skip
two
with us.
choices. You can either veer off to where you can sort of see them heading towards Will now, or you can head further towards this laughter.
No, I'm going to head for the laughter then, because that needs to be stopped, I think.
Yeah. I have to apologise to Sigrun because we're singing quite loudly "The Bloomers of Mitchell Delving," and it's quite a rowdy song.
Yeah. So, Will, you can roll a song as well and add it to the rest.
But I'm afraid linking arms and skipping is compulsory.
Yeah. Seems fair.
Bit tricky.
All right, he might just have to hold on to your.
And Sigrun, you can scan or hunt or depends on
toughy,
how you
isn't
want to
it?
go about it.
I'm going to hunt.
He's right. Hunt. Gotta go to the right. Hunt.
Oh, that's already.
You ignore your singing companions, but their passing seems to push the mist back a little bit, and you follow the densest part off into the very center, where you're confronted by a shadowy figure just standing completely still in the center with their arms out, and the laughter is coming from them.
I think I would like to shoot them, punch them, shoot them, punch them, shoot them, punch them.
Run away, run away.
No, because if I can stop the magic, then everybody's saved. So much as I'd like to punch them because I don't want to kill them, I'm not sure punching them would be enough. So I will draw my bow and then boot them really hard so that they snap out of whatever trance they're in and see me standing over them with a drawn bow.
Go on, give them a kick then.
Proper Sparta.
Rolling.
Oh, I need to choose a target. No, I don't. I'll just roll brawling.
Yeah, just roll brawling.
Have it.
There you go, Gandalf.
Thank you, Gandalf.
Your boot kicks out, and they're standing there with arms open, and you kick them almost straight in the chest. And the laughter gets louder and louder as your boot goes straight through it, and it sort of washes away. And where your boots kicked it, sort of all washes away in that direction, as if blown off in the wind. Blown away in the wind would probably be a better way of wording that, but there you go. And the mist itself starts pulling back as well, and is drawn off in that direction as well. Back away, and you hear this laughter, and the last part of them that disappears is the face of an old Numenorian helm as it drifts off almost in the direction in which you're running. And as the mists dissipate, you find that all of you are no more than like maybe 10-20 feet away from each other. Those of you who haven't linked arms and are singing. And the whole place is quiet.
Apart from the singing.
As it had been all day. Yeah, apart from the singing.
Well, I think it's safe to say they know we're coming.
You have a lovely voice, Mr. Burrows.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, sir. You're not so bad yourself. Adds a nice bass to it all.
In the
that was
time
one of our
that
Numenorian friends.
has taken you, though, it appears that the Numenorians and the orcs have disappeared from your view. Perhaps behind some hills, but you have an idea of what direction they're going in now. And you can pursue them with one final travel roll if you're...
It
depends on how you roll.
Oh dear.
Yeah, make it good.
Right.
Yeah.
Point of hope coming up.
Can I assist him as he's my
Yes.
fellowship focus?
Sure. Have you
And
got travel? You have to have at least 1 point
okay.
in travel.
Sorry, I thought it was explore. No, I don't have travel.
But anyone else with a single point in travel.
Oh, is it not explore? I
assist and
thought.
offer
Sorry,
up.
I've rolled the wrong one. Here we go. This is the one.
Oh, but no, it's probably.
No. I just clicked on the wrong one this time.
The travel roll you make by rolling travel.
Here we go. That'll do.
Yeah.
Do I need to make a travel roll, or is it?
No, it's for the entire group.
Oh.
So, on your first day out, you cross the Hallwell into the woods. After that, you rush across the plains, trying to catch up with the last place you spotted them before you managed to get overwhelmed by this magical mist or sorcerous mist. And then finally you pull up into the woods before the high pass in the mountains. Auspiciously, on the day the Rangers assumed Aragorn would be returning that way.
Oh.
And so you find yourselves closing in on the orcs and the Numenorians as they close in on the high pass. And I think that will probably be an ideal place to leave it for this week, with you running through the woods, trying to cover these
Running up the hill.
last few miles before they manage to catch up with the heir of Elendil.
Awesome.
We'll zoom out again into the snow-covered pines and up into the mountains and do the whole do and so forth. You know how it goes.
Awesome.
Really cool.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for episode 5 of The Heir of Elendil. And thank you to my wonderful players once again for doing such an awesome job. I get the impression that next week will be the finale.
Oh,
Ooh.
awesome.
So there you go. Join us then and see if Middle-earth is changed forever.
Dun, dun, dun.
Fine.
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 What else is coming up on Garblag this week?
Well, later tonight, the Modifius Winter of Fear continues with the next episode of The Forest of Fear. Wonderful North American Garblag folk are getting stuck into Achtung Cthulhu again. And there's a giveaway for like physical books tonight. So go check that out. Join them. And that's great. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, you can't. But yes, it's a lot of fun. And Christopher Walken's back, so it's good. And then tomorrow, have we got D&D, Ben?
Ask him. He's the one running it.
Oh, I was
as
asking
far as
both
I
of you.
know, yes.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Yes, and Sankini, the team have finally been reunited with Sankini. He was, however, fully dressed, so who knows? And yeah, there's a few things they need to do or can do, as they've accrued some, shall we say, debts, or at least some things they were supposed to have done or should do along the way, and we'll find out tomorrow if they do any of that or just fly off into the sunset.
I mean, it's us. You've got no way of telling, have you, really?
Yeah,
That's very
I
true.
do not.
And then that's it for the week. All of the streams will go up on the YouTube at the weekend, so you can catch all of those then. And don't forget to check out our Patreon and the Discord. Thanks, Roger, for putting the links in the chat.
Yeah.
Anyone watching on YouTube, they're down below.
Okay. So thank you, everyone, again, and good night from us.
Good night.
Good night.